This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that hype button. All right. So, did you know a versus happened last night? Because I didn't. Not until clips started popping up, right? Because this versus thing is over. Like I said, nobody cares about versus. This was a thing during the shutdown, and I think the last real memorable one was the Jadakiss one. After that, even the Master P versus Birdman, Cash Money versus No Limit, wasn't that exciting. Lil Wayne wasn't even there, Wasn't even that exciting, okay? YG versus Game, not that exciting, it's over, man. They tried to spice this one up by paying 50 Cent to come out, okay? Donnell Jones versus Joe. All right, that's was the versus last night, right? Joe obviously won because, it's an 18-2 victory, and it's being scored by fans. Joe had more hits than Donnell Jones. I like them both, but so they had all this. They even have collector cards, like people are going to buy collector cards for Versus. Versus was sold a long time ago. As you notice, Swiss Beats and Timbaland don't really come out to these anymore. And they don't show their face. Only at the No Limit and Cash Money one because they have relationships with both artists, and that was the last one that was kind of had some hype to it, but not really. The most of this was 50 Cent doing an interview, talking about Paid in Full still coming out. He's working with AZ, and not AZ the rapper, AZ the ex-drug dealer, right? And they're trying to make that happen. He is talking about, Reebok selling out because all his Reebok shoes sold out that he dropped. They probably did a small drop to test the market, and they'll do another drop. And he's also talking about doing a documentary on the Penn State drug ring of a kid that was running like a cocaine drug ring inside the college. But he pulled up to the Versus, did the song with Joe that was the theme song for Power, and yeah. So that's that. But Versus is trash, bro. It's over. It's over. It's not even worth doing it anymore. I'm gonna be real. Okay, so Grammy Award... This is partially true. Grammy Award-winning Melanie Fiona, she talks about the importance of artists and revealing the hidden costs for artists. Okay, so say you're her, right? If you're going on shows specifically because you're doing a run on a new album you're coming out with, they're going to want to get paid for that, okay? If it's a movie like Spider-Man or something, you're not really going to pay the fees, okay? These shows still need guests, right? But they determine if they're going to make you pay or not. Album rollouts, they're usually going to make you pay. It's up to the people. Like, I don't know how their system works, but most artists do have to pay, and it's in your budget, okay? So when you see an artist on a run and you see it going back to back to back, they're paying for it because they need the scheduling to work back to back to back for the artist rollout. Movies have to do this sometimes, too. If you got to move things around for a movie, they're going to want to get paid for that, because they're on primetime TV. And this might have been where Vlad kind of came up with his way to pay artists. You can only pay... I would only ever pay people... Like, interviews should be pretty much free, but... basically... Yeah, Vlad paying reoccurring guests on Vlad makes sense, but it shouldn't have been public because it did kind of ruin the whole landscape. Clue, still on Power 105, had Rick Ross up to talk, and he confirmed Nino, Bries, and Big Tony are on the Set in Stone album. These are two Maybach music artists. And he says, yes, we're pushing them. We're coming up with a whole album plus MMG compilation on the way. Well, Set in Stone numbers came out. They're abysmal. Trash, right? Didn't sell much. He probably never will recoup on this album for all the money spent of all the features and everything on it. And dropping a Maybach music compilation would be bad. Rick Ross has never, ever, ever had success running Maybach Music Group. And you might be thinking, but Jordan, he had Meek Mill. He had Wale. These are artists that already had their own motion. And they teamed up with Rick Ross because at that time, Rick Ross had a it was beneficial to go as a team and get a distribution deal. And in this case, it wasn't just a distribution deal. It was a whole label deal, which means that Rick Ross's Maybach Music Group was just an imprint, okay? Look at the artists, okay? You got Rick Ross. And when he signed Meek Mill and Wale, he just had dropped BMF, Blow Money Fast record, right? So he had the hype. That was a good time for them to sign because at that time in the music business, Rick Ross had the motion. Wale was already signed to a major. He already had Nike boots out and a bunch of other stuff. He had a song with Gaga before that, right? With Lady Gaga. So Wale and Meek Mill were easy. Meek Mill was already buzzing in Philly, right? So he was ready to go. All he needed was the right push. You say French Montana. French Montana was down with Bad Boy, with Diddy. They put the MMG imprint on it because Rick Ross was doing so much stuff with Meek Mill and Wale. They folded French Montana into the mix because remember, Rick Ross was being helped a lot by Diddy at that time. Diddy called him the new Biggie. Remember that? And Omarion tried to fold into the roster, but it never really mattered. He broke off and did his own thing after that. Then they tried to brand artists. These are the artists that matter that should have gone somewhere. Rocky Fresh, Stolly, Fat Trell, Tracy T. They didn't really go anywhere. Tracy T had one song that did some motion because Meek Mill got added onto the remix. But Tracy T was dope, but I think Tracy T would have had more success signing with a label like QC or something back then, or the QC was just kind of starting back then. But if you got down with them, or even with like the guy who ran Bases Loaded, or Rich Homie Quan's label with I forget the name of that label. It's who else is on that label? YFN Lucci's on that label. Anyways, it's that label. And he would have benefited more signing there because he's an Atlanta artist. Gunplay, Torch, Young Breed, they were there from the start, never got liftoff. Gunplay only got liftoff when he did his own thing. Torch, and they were all nice. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not nice. Rick Ross just can't push these artists. Now he has Smoke Bolga. He doesn't even talk about him anymore. Okay, he had other artists along the way too, but like you never really heard about him. He had other acts that you never heard about. Rick Ross is not a good label owner, just so you know, because he's not really a label owner. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors with Rick Ross. Is he successful? Yes. But but a lot of people don't talk about he sold his catalog. That was and he didn't sell it outright. He leased it, right? So he gets it back and he can sell it again, right? Or lease it again, or he can sell it the second time around. All Rick Ross does is lie, anyways. He was like, "Oh, 50 Cent doesn't own this. 50 Cent's not going to sell these sneakers." 50 Cent just sold out of sneakers. Okay, he just makes up lies for his arguments. I don't know. Someone said, "Buddy, say the N-word 14 times in 30 seconds and 36 times in a 2-minute and 30-second song." This is Belly Kush Gang's new song, "No Jewelry." I'm still finding it hard to believe he claims he's black, right? And I'm thinking that possibly. Don't get me wrong. I like his music. He's fully tapped into the Jeezy era and T.I. and has and I would say even Gucci Mane. And he's encompassed that. I mean, he grew up in Atlanta, obviously. So he is recreating that feeling with his music. without a doubt, right? He's doing a good job at it. But then he did this documentary where he showed this man that I don't know if it was his adopted father or something, like he was adopted or something, but he's a black guy, right? And he's like, "Look, I'm black. I'm just, I have orange hair. What do they call those? He's he's really black because he's white with orange hair. Okay, bro." This is I'm pretty convinced this is a white man. Okay, but it is what it is. I think he's just like how certain white guys they want to be, they don't want to be white anymore. They want to be whatever. You can be whatever you want, right? I think he grew up in the hood, and he just as a product of growing up in the hood, right? But bro, I don't think he's black, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, but. His music's still good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if I believe that. People reported too early that QCP passed. A lot of people were saying because Tasha K reported it too quickly that he's gone. He had a heart attack. I think he's in Vegas. Even TMZ reported it. I think they have changed it as of right now. Oh, no. They said hospitalized. See? Quality control... hospitalized. See, TMZ verified he's in the hospital. Okay, even Whack 100 posted up, keep him in your prayers. That's it. Okay, he's not dead. Okay, he's not dead. Now, just 3 years ago, he sold the whole catalog of QC for $300 million. Which would be split between him and Coach K. All these artists like Baby, City Girls, Yachty, Migos, their catalogs were sold, and I don't think they got any money from that. QC's, living his best life. He's with 100 and probably has 200 million because I'm sure he owned more of the label. It's crazy. But hopefully he recovers, man. Then we got, let's see. Okay, yeah, they corrected this. Lil Durk's defense team has requested to remove juror 18 after he said just by looking at him, they look guilty. All the guys in OTF. I've seen a lot of people die by people who look like them. That guy just wanted to go home, bro. You don't want to be selected to be on a jury. Now, I see some lawyers, okay, that they don't do defense work, and they're going to the trial to get they're addicted to social media attention because they believe it drives their other business where they practice law. It's kind of sad, bro. It's like you're attaching yourself to rap just to move your clientele for being a lawyer for like accident victims or something. It's like, bro. And you're not even really a defense attorney, so you don't completely understand everything. You just understand law is like pretty specific for what you're. There's a reason why a lawyer for entertainment doesn't just go to be a defense lawyer tomorrow. Like it's a whole set of laws. It's funny how many people cling to these trials. 50 Cent posts up that, hey, why is the CEO Rick Ross so quiet now? I sold out of his sneakers. Come on, he is very quiet. Busta Rhymes tries to show he's a boss during an interview with New York Times. First of all, this popcast that's down with New York Times, bro, these are two guys that probably never listened to rap doing a podcast on New York Times. It's kind of weird. And they always go up there because you know what? It's the New York Times. People are going to go up there. It's a ridiculous podcast. But, Rick, so he's like, yo, what time is this? How much more time is this? 20 more minutes. We got to cut it short. 20 minutes. You didn't handle your business before you sat down in an interview. Said, I got to pay some people that got to promote my new record. Oh, boss. Busta Rhymes the boss. Right? He's trying to show he's an independent boss. Bro, it's not working. Don't put the money into this record. He just put this record out. Tuck Ya-ish. It's a good record. Busta Rhymes, a Lil Wayne verse from 2020. Okay. That was on SoundCloud. And it's a Jay Dilla beat. Legendary, right? He dropped the other song with Jay Dilla not too long ago. It's not even tracking, bro. Then, let's see, which one was that one? He doesn't move the needle for anybody. 38 special Busta Rhymes. Hardly any views. There's a lot of records. Busta Rhymes is an artist that thrived. And some of you be like, how are you going to disrespect Busta Rhymes? I'm telling you the truth, okay? Busta Rhymes, first of all, Busta Rhymes is a good rapper, but he's not the best, ever. He's a good rapper. He's also a jerk, okay? But besides that, Busta Rhymes, he's an artist that thrived in an industry that had unlimited cash. Think of when Busta Rhymes thrived. It was a time of 1996 to 2004. It was a rap after that. Yes, you got him with the Chris Brown song after that and a couple other little songs. He found an artist with a cocoa. He gave that guy a chance, right? He signed him to a conglomerate or whatever it was and funneled him through that. But that was that. Now, Busta Rhymes is an artist that thrived when there was unlimited cash in the music business. They were spending $1 million on video, so he got to be creative with videos. They had huge budgets, and they could control what you're listening to. And you can arguably hear that the production was way better back then, okay? Because they had so much money. They were in huge studios, and, there were so many people attached to a record that it had to go through 5 people for quality control. Like, music was better when there were gatekeepers. As everything, things go too far one way. The gatekeepers were gone now, right? They're there, but they're gone in a way. They go for low-hanging fruit, like, TikTok viral videos and all that. And they sign them to a label deal, and then they pop, and then it's over, You can hear the artists that really have a lot of money behind them now, like Doja Cat. Like, that still exists. But you're in a 360 deal at that point, Yeah, the music business probably needs to go back to having some gatekeepers because there's too much garbage out here, Busta Rhymes is trying to, put out some music now that, isn't commercial like he's used to dropping. It's more just back to when he was, down with Leaders of the No School, Leaders of the New School, sorry about that. But hey, it is what it is. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about everything that's going on. Say, QCP, hopefully he makes it through, man. That's sad, He's too young. I think he's only 52 or something like that. QCPH. I think he's, it says he's 45. Yeah, right. Jeez, that's a harsh 45, bro. This guy looks like he's 55, 52 probably. But hey, he's still alive, all right? So, don't believe all this. Peace.